I'm wrong.
Welcome back to the Dirthead Shed. Louis Viten is on the rack. Suspension's done, but we have a whole lot more work to do before Ultimate Adventure. So check it out. We finished up suspension work since you saw it last. The rear end is like all back together. The bed is on it. It's cut for those shock towers. Everything is kind of like, it's all roughed in, but now we got to get into accessories, winch, bumper, all this stuff. I hired some help. I didn't really hire him. I just conned my buddy Mark into coming and helping me. Mark has been on Ultimate Adventure. Andy has helped me with like 4 of my Ultimate Adventure builds in the past. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like my old buddy that I conned into coming up here to Washington and helping me finish this. So we're going to bust out. Is he making me look small? If I get closer to the camera, I look bigger, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're the same height.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Same size.
Yeah. Anywho, we are going to get busy on this truck. I think it's time to tear these bumpers off and start figuring out if those new ones are going to go on and how to make the winch work. Mark, go grab the winch.
Oh, sure.
Make the big guy lift the heavy stuff.
Drop the beat, bring it on, don't kill the vibe, I'm in my zone. Drop the beat, bring it on, don't kill the vibe, I'm in my zone. Yeah.
So, one of the requirements for Ultimate Adventure, and pretty much what you need for going four-wheeling safely, is a winch. And this truck didn't have one, so I have to figure out how to fab a winch into here. What's kind of neat with the gas truck is that it has all this space right here. Like, this is a ton of room to get a winch mounted. Like, if this was a diesel truck, there'd be more coolers and a big intercooler and stuff like that. So the gas motor kind of frees up a bunch of space. So I'm going to figure out how to cut and grind on this Harbor Freight winch plate, weld it in, and then hopefully the N-fab bumper will just bolt on like it's supposed to. So it should go quick and smooth, and the bumper and winch will be separate from each other. We'll see how it works out though. They didn't make a bumper for a 2008, so I had to get a bumper for a 2021. So these aren't going to fit until I make them fit. I should be able to get the winch behind this thing and have it like kind of tucked in, still giving it that pre-runner look, but then like have the off-roadiness of the winch. I think it's gonna be good. Yeah, anytime I'm trying to build something, I'm thinking max off-roadiness. That was actually the name of my first shop, was Max's Off-Roadiness, but then I was like, man, my name's Dave. So here I am.
There he is.
If I call you, then I'm crazy. If I call you, if I call you, you ain't gonna answer. If I was ever just call you.
It's like it was meant to be. That's awesome. Huh. I gotta get the winch plate is gonna be kind of difficult because it's gonna be hanging out in front of the frame a little bit. But I think we're getting close. The winch is mounted. I have this Warren 12,000. This is one of my tricks though. This is like one of my favorite things, is these universal winch plates. On Dirt Every Day, man, we made so many bumpers using these plates and just sort of using this as the starting point. So this one, I think they've got like 1,000 holes in them so that they'll bolt onto Jeeps and like Broncos and Toyota Land Cruisers. but I never do that. I always just weld other things to them so that I can like weld them into the chassis. This one has a bunch of handmade doodads in here to clearance for the tranny cooler line and for the AC line over here. But it was like pretty quick and easy, and the winch is now mounted. So I'm cutting the grill a little bit so the hood will shut all the way, and then we're going to move on to getting the bumper in place.
Leftovers on the counter, pigs at the dead of fishing, and the sink is full of flowers, bathtub soaking the dishes, got a couch in the den, but we all just hang in the kitchen. Pilates in the guest room, pizza on the coffee table.
Mark, is it coming together?
It's coming together. It's bolting together right now.
Sweet. We got this bed rack system from Rugged Ridge, and we're having to modify it a little bit because it's actually made for a smaller truck than this, but it's getting in there. It looks killer, and it should be sturdy enough for a rooftop tent when we're all said and done. Toolboxes and shocks and all kinds of stuff. It's like becoming a real truck. Alright, back in the shop. We pulled the transfer case out in order to put a 1-inch spacer on it because the input and output were all kind of not jiving together. So this thing should be ready to go back in. Now we're doing vent hoses on it and all the little details. So we should be having this transfer case in a minute. Drive shafts going in. Mark knocked it out on like toolbox and rack the other day, and I think we just have a couple little swinging toolboxes to button up. But we should be able to kind of like get this thing out and drive it and make sure we don't have bigger problems with ABS or transmission not shifting because we've been messing with parts. So hopefully before the end of the day we can drive this thing and make sure that we're ready for the next stages, which will be like making it look cool.
Mark, what are today's vibes?
Today's vibes? They're awesome vibes.
Good one. Nailed it, Mark. Dude, Mark and I went ripping in the old Mustang 2 this morning. We were breaking necks. Have you seen that thing? Man, it's so cool. Like everybody but my wife thinks it's cool. She's like, get that turd out of the yard. Totally harassed. I got the drive shafts for this. I was able to like get some measurements the other day, and Tom Woods was able to make them up really quick. They basically do Jeep drive shafts. They specialize in that, but they do have the machinery to do drive shafts as long as this one. It almost maxed out what they could do. This one's going to have 1350 double cardon at one end and a 1350 non-greasable spicer joint at the other end. And they actually did 188 wall DOM tubing, so this thing is super heavy duty. It should be able to take a hit on a rock without bending like a stock, like light duty one would. Let's go put it in the truck.
We make them say, wow, who want the flow when I hit them like loud? We bout to blow, better get up right now. Already know we gon' turn it up loud, loud, loud. We make them say, wow, who want the flow when I hit them like loud? We bout to blow, better get up right now. Already know we gon' turn it up loud.
This is the first time I'm ever gonna have a truck with like actual organization in the bed, and it should be pretty cool. Like, I have a full width like bed height toolbox in the front there, so we got room for like the heavy tools and bags and stuff that I don't have to get access to like super regularly. That's all going to be up front and secured. The back here, I think I'm probably actually going to set up with camping gear, so I'll have like a little kitchenette kind of thing going on in one. So I got all my cooking gear there, and then yeah, it's all coming together. This thing should have a rooftop tent on it when we are on the trip. The rack's all dialed in, and I think Mark is actually just going to finish bolting up this other little swing case. Radical.
Maybe I'll try this one.
It's close. Alright, I got a rear bumper from N-fab to kind of match the front bumper. So it's time to start chopping the body up. I'm actually going to kind of change this thing from just being like a normal truck bolt-on to kind of a hardcore like rock crawling bumper. I'm going to do that by adding tubing around the sides and tying into the frame. So let's chop the sides of the bed up and see how to make room for this thing so we can get that thing done. Move on to the next part of the list. The N-fab bumper is designed to work with like a factory trailer hitch, but since I'm going rock crawling and trying to get all the ground clearance I can, I'm going to raise the trailer hitch way up into the frame rails, so I don't really need all this extra material hanging down. I'm going to cut that off so that we have more clearance in the back, and then in order to get the side like rub rails sorted out in the way I want them, I'm going to lop the sides off and just wrap from the frame all the way over by the tire all the way back into this side plate here. Piece of cake. Yeah, we're supposed to leave on Wednesday, and it is Monday evening right now. I basically am at the stage where I got to figure out things that have to get done and things that can get passed on. I have to get this rear bumper on it. I have to get the cage tied into the frame. I have to get some fender flares on it. There's a few things on the list that probably aren't going to cut it, but I think we'll be okay. It's like there's just not enough hours in the day to get this thing fully finished and fully buttoned up, but I'm pretty sure we can get it to where we're on the trip on time and the thing will work really good. I'm tired though. I've been doing this for a long time now.
I guess it must have been a ghost. I don't see no one. Every time I get close, can't keep you around. Thought I knew you, but it must have been a ghost. I don't see no one. Shame on my eyes thinking you were real.
Got this tube sort of mocked up and you can see it's like overhanging a bunch here. Because of the amount of time I had, I wasn't able to like figure out all the geometry, like the planes that these different tubes are at. So this trick I did was just to bend this single tube, two bends in one plane, let it overhang a little bit, and then do a separate tube here so it goes over to the frame. So I got all my angles right now, and I didn't end up bending and wasting a bunch of tube doing so. Now I can come back and I can cut this off and cap it, and we should have this protection done here pretty quick.
Yes, definitely.
It's like my favorite part of the build. It's time to paint some graphics on this thing. I'm gonna basically I gotta paint the bottom part of this cab black because we did so much cut, grinding, and welding, and in the process I'm also gonna throw down a pretty cool graphic for Real Truck. So let's finish scuffing this thing up, tape it off, paint it, paint it, paint it.
Yeah, let's try to knock one out at least. Let's go. It's my time. Don't care what you say, it's my time. I be the GOAT, I be the go-to. I be the one that people go to. You wanna play, then let me coach you. a way that I can show you. Up on the wave, ain't gonna go through that. Man, look at the way I'm bringing no school back. Man, look at the faces, better go and embrace it, cause I ain't going away, you can't break this. Nothing on earth is gonna change this. You ain't seeing my arrangement. To the truck where I'm staying. Me and all that I came with. Me and all of my people. Doing all good and fighting off evil. This my time, you speak, I can't see you. Rain or shine, I'm coming and lethal. This my time, yeah. Get it, rain or shine. I said I'm gonna make it. You know legends never die.
It turns out I built a monster truck. The thing is giant. Louis Viten is out of the shop. It was actually 3 weeks of insanely hard work, late nights, hanging out with a lot of friends. This was a great build, and I'm stoked to have another truck in the fleet. We are about to embark on Ultimate Adventure 2023, and I'm hoping that this truck is the right tool for the job. I get the feeling it's probably going to be a little big for some of the tight Jeep trails that we're going to be on, but I want to try all these things, man. It's like I've always wanted this V10 truck. I've always liked standard cabs. I thought doing a long bed would be kind of fun. And by working with partners like Real Truck and Superlift and all these other companies, I was able to build a truck that's mostly bolt-on parts, sort of. I did dive pretty deep into like custom fabrication on the rear suspension. I hope you guys really like that. I hope you also can kind of appreciate how we were able to just like bolt on a kit on the front of this truck, and it's got coilovers. Like, that's a pretty cool deal. Yeah, it's basically 2 really hard weeks, long nights, whole lot of help from friends of mine. I think at one point I had like 5 guys in the shop. I haven't really had dinner with my family for 2 weeks. Everybody's been super cool about helping me out get this truck built so that we can take off for Ultimate Adventure 2023. Thanks for watching the Dirthead Shed. I hope you dig this one, because I want to do more just like it. It's pretty fun. Check out my monster truck.